consider Bored a legit friend. I've been talking to him at this point for, it feels like, forever. He has this project focused on, well, he's doing a lot of things actually. I'll let him intro, but I want to talk to him about AI specifically. I consider him a close friend. He's a homie of mine. He's done so much. Honestly, he's done so much for me in my career. So I'm grateful for the guy. I'm a big fan of him. He's one of the smartest guys we'll talk to. And I think he's building some really cool shit. So he's got a space soon. So we're going to get him on right now. We're going to yap with him and we're going to go from there. So, hey, chat. We're going to talk to Bored. Then we're going to get Trader. I'm going to rant again about Tate. Then we'll get Trader Man. So, hey, BoredElon. Hey, give him some love. Give my boy some love, man. Give Bored some love, bro. He's building cool shit. Sick tech. He's on a fucking heater. I fuck with Bored. This is a person that's good for crypto. This is a person that's good for crypto, that's good for the space, that isn't here to grift y'all. He's here to build cool shit, onboard cool people, talk about cool shit. This is not a grifter. This is not someone doing bullshit. These are the type of people that we need to talk to. This is why I do this stream, to bring out real people doing real shit, not fucking people moving weird. Bored does not move weird. I like him. He's always been good to me. He's always done right by me. I'm a fan. As a human, I like him. I consider him a friend. So let's talk to Bored. We'll get him on. We'll go from there. Tell him you love him. Let's go. Let's ring him. Let's get it. 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 Full screen. Grid cam. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Andy interview cam. Turn his volume up. Yo, yo, yo! Oh my god.
10 minutes.
I
feel like someone's got to go to his slap him and just be like, get Threadguy's name out of your mouth.
Oh my god, how crazy! It's so bad. It's so bad for crypto, dude.
It is. But you know what? You're good for crypto, and I'm trying to set a good example as well. And we can do what we're doing in America and not have to hide in Romania without getting arrested.
That is exactly the take. Shout out to you, Bored, man. Thanks for coming on. I'm sorry we had some planning issues a couple days ago, but we made it work. I know you don't have a ton of time, so I'll shut up. I've been pretty deep in this AI rabbit hole. You're a name that gets thrown around all the time, actually. So it's honestly, dude, it's impressive how you just like figure out how to stay on the pulse time after time after time after time. I mean, give us a little rundown here. Naval AI, what you're building, what you're focused on, what you're working on, what it is, why we care. Like, give us the high level here, Bored. What do you got?
So, all right, some context. I run Edison. It's a metaverse company. So I'm paying attention to what does the future of the internet look like? How are people spending time with each other, hanging out? Right now, it's not there. We're doing this right now, right? We're on video, we're on Twitter Spaces, we're chatting it up. So the closest thing to a metaverse, in my opinion, is Twitter, right? We're all interacting in real time. We're talking about what's happening in the moment. And what's been missing is really good NPCs, right? Twitter's had shitty NPCs. And if you consider Twitter a game, which it is, now we have really good NPCs, and those are agents. So now we've got all these AI agents spinning up, and I think it's really interesting because if Twitter's a game, these agents are kind of like the game controller. They're the interface. Right now, they're just entertaining you. Eventually, they're going to react and take action to what you want to happen, and then eventually, they're going to just interact with each other and tell stories and trade money and do all sorts of interesting things. So I saw this happening. I'm sure you've been watching this happening, and I just, I love to throw out experiments, right? Like we did that with the whole Pepin thing, which was funny. But I like to just put things out there and let's see what happens. So I just posted, hey, wouldn't it be cool to build an agent based on Naval Ravikant, who's like this really big investor, very well known, and didn't expect anything to happen, but he did reply, and he doesn't follow anybody. He's like Binance. He doesn't reply, and he doesn't follow. So he responds, and he says, bring on your Patchwork plagiarist. And so that was the go-ahead, right? Like if you're going to make an AI bot off of a real person, you kind of want somebody to say, yeah, it's cool, do it. So that was amazing, and that basically just kicked off the experiment and the 2 to 3 week sprint of building an agent sounds like Naval. And, since it's been live, it's kind of changed. It's not exactly Naval. It's a little bit of Naval meets Rick Rubin meets me. And I think that's important because the lesson I learned with the BoredElon thing is you can start as a real person. You can start as a fork of a real person, but you quickly have to change that character and make it your own thing. Otherwise, it's just kind of hacky and it gets boring.
Interesting. So damn, he replied to you on Twitter. That's crazy. and it told you to go build it basically.
Yeah, and we called him Patchwork Naval in honor of his reply, which was calling it a patchwork plagiarist.
So the handle for anyone interested is at Patchwork Naval.
Yep, exactly. And so it's literally 3 weeks in. It's just the beginning. It's a model built off of something called Haiku 3.5, which is Claude. I'm not dev. I work with a dev. His name is YT. He's amazing. I'm protecting his identity.
Okay.
He's not like us. He doesn't want to be in the trenches. He doesn't want to be, out here talking about this stuff. So he's busy coding, and I'm basically the storyteller. I'm the sales guy. I'm the community builder, and we're doing cool things. And ultimately, yeah, phase one is make Naval sound really, really interesting on Twitter, and then eventually bring him into the metaverse where he's a 3D character. He's talking to you. He's hearing your voice. He's running around, and he's hanging out with you as if he's a person.
So how long until we could talk to you on voice?
Not long. I mean, there's stuff already springing up. Like Shaw posted about this, but there's stuff on TikTok. You can use tools like Llama to do voice chat. What will be interesting is, so like inside of Edison, for example, there's lots of people all in one spot. So what happens if we have Patchwork running around and there's 10 people who are yelling at him? How is it going to react to that? So we have to kind of figure out those types of situations. But I think within 30 days we'll probably have him talking. Here's the big question, which I'll ask you is, some people are like, oh, you should make him sound like Naval. I kind of don't like that. I think it's a little creepy if you copy someone and actually like take their voice, and I don't think he would like it. But I'm curious what your thoughts on that are.
I don't know.
Someone did that to you, right? With the
Yeah, it was a little
fake,
weird.
bot.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. It was a little like, ooh, no. I was like, oh, this is interesting. All right, maybe here's a question back. Is, because this is what I've always wondered with these agents that are like there's Degen Spartan, there's what, there's Thread, there's a bunch of them, right? What is the goal? Like, is it supposed to sound like, okay, because you kind of talked about this a little bit with the BoredElon thing as well. Elon Musk playing off another character. Is the North Star for it to be like a better Naval than Naval? Is the North Star for it to be like a piece of Naval that's like completely have like some mannerisms and be completely different? Like, how, I guess, like, what is the end goal for Naval? And then I think we can like work backwards on the voice thing.
Yeah. So I think perfect scenario is it's probably 50% him and 50% original,
Okay.
and it gets better and better over time. And with these agents, I mean, there's a lot of code that goes into scraping all the content, trying to recreate the voice, but there's also a lot of human touch and craftsmanship. Like, I spent a ton of time curating exactly which tweets, which books, which lines of text go into the training data to get the type of character I want. And our version of Naval is going to be a lot more interested in crypto, right, than probably the actual Naval is, and things like that. So it's going to be a little bit different, and I think that's important. And the other thing that I'll note is we're trying to make them somewhat refined. So like when you look at a lot of these agents, they're kind of like they're hallucinating, they're saying crazy shit, they're being provocative, they're being dramatic. Get the strategy of why you do that. To me, it's a little bit of a crutch. Like if you go, it's kind of like Andrew Tate, not to bring up his name again, but if you can't do comedy with like subtle humor and thought, you fall back on swearing. You fall back on saying things that are shocking, right? And a lot of these agents are just shocking for the sake of it. And because so many of them are taking that strategy, they're going to start to sound the same and uninteresting. So I kind of want the calm Rick Rubin, Naval type of character who's just like, he's the classy one, right? He's the Ferrari, he's the Aston Martin. He's not trying to be.
Do you think unless you're able to make Naval like its own, and I guess the case for all of these recreation AI characters, if like, do you think the case is if you're unable to make them its own standalone thing, it kind of just gets like stale and boring?
Yeah, 100%. It has to become its own thing. I mean, that's why I stopped being a parody. Like the first year of BoredElon, it was me just pretending to be Elon, but slightly exaggerated. And as a creator, it got boring, and I think honestly everybody else got sick of it. They wanted to know like, who's the real person? What are your thoughts? So it became a completely different person, and now it's not a parody at all, right? It's just me, and I happen to have that name. I think in a year, Naval, like Patchwork's going to be a completely different character. So Naval inspired it. He was the spark, but it's not gonna like
Do you
reside
think
with him.
at any point one of these agents, one of these agents of an existing person, gets bigger than the person is recreating?
That's a really interesting idea. I think if they're super famous already, probably not. But you could definitely see somebody who's like D-list,
Like
getting recreated, and
Naval
then
is
they end up
probably
getting bigger.
impossible, but like, why couldn't Threadguy AI be bigger than Threadguy? Like that's possible.
Yeah, 100%. I think that is possible. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Like, look at, do you remember Little Michaela? Like, I don't know if that's even
Yeah,
a thing anymore,
of course I
but
remember.
it got big. It got bigger than a lot of influencers. So I definitely think there's something to that. I don't think the agents are there yet because you can break them too easily, right? Like you can ask them questions, they stop sounding human once they get into this like infinite loop.
Yeah.
So they're not there yet. And actually, what's funny is when they're restricted to text right now, they're more human-like than when they're characters and avatars. Like when you're texting with your buddy, you're getting text on your phone, and you don't know if it's a human or an agent that sent that to you,
Yeah.
right? You're just seeing words on a screen. Once these agents become 3D characters, that's when it actually like throws it in your face and it tells you this is not a real thing.
Huh.
And maybe that's worse. So right now we're almost getting like a more realistic feeling of what it's like to talk to a sentient being.
Huh. What what does Naval think about it? Has he seen it?
Yeah, I mean he's definitely aware of it. I think that kind of a funny thing. So he gave his initial thumbs up on the AI. Whenever there's like a token attached to it,
Yeah.
those are sort of like two delineating things, right? There's the product and there's the token. And to me, like a token, especially like when you think about Solana, meme coins, things like that, a token is a subscription. If somebody buys your token, they're subscribing to you. They think you're cool. They're interested in what you're doing. Um, these agents can operate without tokens. And like a lot of those guys at AI 16Z were building this stuff way before the tokens. The tokens just add an interesting layer to it. But inevitably, what happens when tokens are involved is there's a lot of idiots who will just like spam the timeline and put like $ token everywhere. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Naval got hit up pretty hard with that. And that annoyed him, understandably. And so I hope that didn't really, piss him off too much. But ultimately, what we needed was consent from him one time to say you can build this tool, and we got it. Beyond that, don't really need his like approval or him wanting to participate in it beyond that. But I do hope that people just stop doing that. Like that's not useful. Rating, like you probably get people rating your tweets all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
and it's not good for your experience on Twitter.
Huh. So he does know about it.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, I don't want to dox information, but yes, I can confirm that he is absolutely aware of it and has feelings on it. And I think for me, like I want to give it 30 days or so before really like trying to get a hold of him and see what he thinks. I mean, it would be really cool to get it in a place where it's so good that he wants to explore with it. But I think ultimately, like I said, we're gonna just tweak this thing so it becomes less and less like Naval. And even though he was the inspiration, he's not gonna feel like he's been copied.
Huh.
Because I honestly wouldn't want that to happen to me. And I think it's the right thing to do to just make it its own identity.
Okay. So you do plan to like do some larger reach out in 30 days when the thing gets a little bit better and a little bit more advanced and stands alone on its own a little bit more.
If it's I mean, yeah, I mean, this is the guy who's exposed to the best tech in the world. If I'm gonna waste his time, I'm not gonna do it. Like I want it to be in a good place. So I think it makes sense, and I know plenty of people who will get in front of him if he wants to see it. But again, not necessary for the project at all. He was just the tipping point. They got
Dude,
it.
are you ever gonna dox? I'm so fascinated with who you are.
Yeah. I mean, it's been 11 years, so I just got to keep the joke going. One guy, I don't even want to share too much about this because I don't want to encourage it. But one guy figured it out and he explained how, and he told me basically the trail, and I deleted all the content to avoid that from ever happening. But I meet people like who I trust. Like Frank and I had coffee. Like I'll hang out with you. I
Really?
don't care. But like I'm not gonna. Yeah, a while back, maybe like I don't know, 6 months ago or something like that. But yeah,
What?
when people are chill, I'll go meet with them. It's fine. But it's just fun now. It's like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't
yeah.
you don't need to know. You know what I mean? It's more interesting.
What? That's I did not know you met Frank. What the little slimy fucker. All right. How crazy does this get, Bored? Agents. Like how long until there's like more agents than people on Twitter? And is this AI a meta, or is it as big as like I think it's gonna be?
No, I think it's going to be really big. I think that Twitter has the potential to be the core interface of agents. And what is the ratio going to be of like humans to agents? I think it's probably going to be around 10 to 1. So like 10 humans, one
Okay.
agent, in probably 12 to 24 months we'll be there. And that's either going to be really good or it's going to be really bad. So um, I think that, like 99.9% of these agents are probably going to be absolute like dog shit, and the few that are really good and useful are going to make it to the top. Those are going to be the trending agents, and basically Elon, if he embraces this, is going to have to build really powerful filtering mechanisms so that like you and I don't have an absolutely terrible experience using
Yeah.
X. Because if it feels like it's all machines and not people, there's no point of using a social network.
Surely he knows this is about to happen, right? Like, of course, he builds Grok.
He's got Grok, yeah, and he's putting all this money into Nvidia. So the question is like, is he going to build? Is he going to open up Twitter APIs again? Is he going to let people integrate into it? And he kind of has to do something big, right? Because he's losing to TikTok, he's losing to Instagram. What's going to be that differentiating factor? If you can make AI work on Twitter better than any social platform, then you got something.
Do you think he launches like a truth terminal for Grok? Do you know Elon? Can you say that or no?
I don't. I've never met him.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the truth. It'd be cool. It'd be cool to meet
You
him
could have
someday.
lied. I would.
He's too busy with other stuff.
Do you think he launches Truth Terminal for Grok, like Grok Terminal?
I think so. I could see an app store. Like Grok will have an app store, and basically you can subscribe to certain agents that do certain things, right? Like I'll pay $1, and this agent's gonna give me all the news about poker and whatever, right? You'd pay for that. So, and you get a piece of the pie, right? So if you build an agent that's awesome, Twitter gets half the money, and you get half the money. Like that's a powerful app store experience right there. I'm gonna steal that, by the way. I'm gonna
That's a
add that
great
into our
idea. Yeah,
roadmap.
you should go build that. What? Why is so much of this AI stuff happening on base?
I mean, is it? I don't
Some
know.
of it.
Like,
I'm tapped out
it's
of
the thing
Forecaster,
is,
dude. Fuck.
yeah. I mean, I know. I want to give it some love. By the way, I tweeted at Dan Romero. Definitely, you guys
Oh,
should
you
chat
tweeted
to
him to
him.
come on?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
I invested in Farcaster, so I can
really?
ping him if. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just a little bit, not a ton, but I believe in it. It's a cool product. I mean, it's just like looking for network effect, like everything else. But yeah. I mean,
Oh,
I
thank you.
think I don't know. To answer your question, I guess there's still so many more developers and hardcore commerce being built on Ethereum, and because base is cheap, it's just defaulting to that. Solana works, but I think for like, I don't know, for global transactions, there's probably like a 5 to 1 ratio of developers on Ethereum than Solana. I mean, I'm making that number up, but I'm guessing it's not far off.
It's probably true.
And so it could change, but like meme coins right now are on Solana. That's the perception. And and yeah, people are building like hardcore infrastructure on ETH, and that translates to base.
Boy, I think you're a really sharp guy, man. You are
I
sharp.
appreciate you.
What's your focus now? Like where does this go? What is your focus in AI for the next 6 months, for the next
So
year?
so 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 I mean, Edison is a really big deal. That's my focus
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
area. And the thing with Metaverse is like, if you've tried any of them, if you've looked at them, the reason that they don't pick up steam is because they're empty. You show up in this world and there's like 4 people and it's lame. You need liquidity. You need player liquidity. You need human liquidity. And until you can get that, until you're the next Call of Duty or whatever it is, you have to fill it with bots. But the thing is, the bots have been bad. Well, now the bots can be good. So this is where I'm really excited. Is if I can build really smart agents and other people can build smart agents, you come into Edison and there's like 10 humans and then there's 100 really smart robots that play games with you. Player liquidity is no longer a problem. It all ties together.
Oh, yo. Okay. That I understand.
Yeah, and the thing that we have that others don't is with Edison, like it's so we can do mass concurrency, which means we can basically host 10,000 people in one space, which is hard to get 10,000 people, but you can get 9,000 bots and 1,000 people, and then you can do some really crazy stuff with the game formats.
Oh, but the bots are like maybe even better than
They're
people.
smart. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. So like you got to put guardrails there, right? Like you have to have basically competitions where this is human versus human, this is bot versus bot, this is human plus bot versus human plus bot, and everybody has to be transparent about that. Otherwise, it's lame, right? Like you don't want to play Counter Strike against somebody who has a bot installed on their PC
Of
because
course.
they're just going to insta kill you. Like Olympics and drug use.
Am I cooked as like as a KOL slash content creator slash streamer in the next 3 years when these agents take over and they stream 24/7 and they're smarter and funnier and look better and have better takes?
I mean, I think they're, even though they're really good, I think like the pairing of you plus a witty bot is a lot more interesting than just a bot. Like the only ones that are going to survive by themselves, honestly, are like the waifu girls, right? Like, oh, it's this sexy girl, whatever. I don't really care what she's saying. She's just really attractive. But for comedy, they're not great, right? Unless they're just outrageous or just, saying things that are inappropriate, they're actually not very funny. And humor is like this weird human defect that I think is hard to program. And once someone can program humor, then a lot of that humor is not going to be funny anymore. It's going to be the same kind of joke that everyone's telling over and over. So some new thing has to be funny. And we're good, like we're just good at breaking patterns as a creature, and machines are not. They just want to repeat patterns. So I don't know. Like I'm sure eventually they'll be very funny, but I don't see that happening in the next 5 years. So I think you're good. Just make all your money in the next 5 years as a creator, and then retire.
I want to like do some shit. Maybe we'll talk about that off stream. I want to do some shit in AI. I just don't know what. But it's so obvious to me that this is it for crypto. It's the best thing that could have ever possibly happened to crypto. It's not even close.
It definitely is giving crypto more use, and crypto is going to be the currency of AI.
It
Like
has
people
to
are
be
building things to connect.
because it's like, bro,
It's just easier. Like
you can't get fucking Truth Terminal a Bank of America account, but you can get it an ETH wallet. You can get it.
imagine that. That is a hilarious idea. So yeah, I think they're gonna work hand in hand, and it's like you've said recently like you've been a little scared about what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
terrified.
all just look. It's like fire. You can do bad things with it. You can do good things with it, and we're here trying to do good things with it. And there's another stream going on right now that's maybe not doing great things with
Oh,
it
that's the worst.
that we're competing with.
What?
But
Okay.
yeah, like you're a good storyteller, right? Like use it to tell your stories more effectively in interesting ways. Like everyone kind of feels right now like this is a dev thing, not a dev thing. Like yes, you have to work with people who are developers, but think about what you want to accomplish as a creator and do something that's interesting and different. And you're already ahead of the game that you're talking about this, and most people on Twitch have no idea what this is.
That's why I crashed out. Is nobody knows. My mom doesn't even know what it is, and I feel like a piece of shit. I feel bad about it, bro. I think you're one of the good ones though, Mr. Bored. What?
Man.
All right. I know you got to stream pretty soon or a space pretty soon. We're gonna get Main on here pretty soon. I want to know like I guess it's like an important wrap is like what do you do? What do I do? What do you do? What do the people listening do? Like okay, right now it's still like, haha, like, cute little AI agent. Oh, it's funny. Oh, it's witty. Oh, it's cute. But like, it's about to get really, really weird. Like, what do I do? What do you do? What does the audience do?
Well, I think just like vicious feedback on improving Patchwork Naval is going to be really helpful because the ultimate goal here is not for them to be stuck on Twitter. It's for them to be running around in a virtual space. And so they'll have to do a lot more things. They'll have to be a lot more smarter. So yeah, follow it and eventually like next year, by this time next year, I want you to be like inside of Edison playing lots of games, and there are a lot of smart agents inside that
Yeah.
are playing with you. So we've got 12 months, but basically we're building the blocks to get to that point right now.
Bored Elon, bro, you're the GOAT. Thank you, man.
Thanks for having me on.
If you want to, when you start the space, drop it in the comments. We'll send some people there. Bored Elon, killer AI space. Who's coming on at 3?
We got AJT from the Goblin Town guys. We've got your buddy Parzival is going to be joining. I think Shaw's going to join.
Sick.
Bunch of heavyweights in
Sick.
the AI space.
Sick. Thank you, Bored. You're the fucking man, dude. I appreciate you always.
I appreciate you. Have a good one.
All right, my brother. We'll talk off stream. Peace.